Hey there, and thanks for joining me in another episode of Tia Talk. Speaking of the talk, talking about the TOK, I had an interesting conversation not too long ago on my TikTok platform. It was just a random thing I wanted to bring up because I had been seeing a lot of it lately through calls that we were getting and emails, whatnot. And I put out the question to the audience, already knowing my answer, but I wanted to see what everybody else thought. And the question was, who do you think is the most responsible for giving pit bulls their bad reputation and causing them to be put into a situation where they do have a bad reputation? And it was kind of a trick question. Of course, it was the media, it was dog biters, drug dealers, gang members. And then I had to disappoint everybody. And I said, here's the deal. I am fortunate in that I have always been someone who can remove the emotion from the conversation and just think and talk about it logically, not even logically, factually, statistically, numbers. As they say, the numbers don't lie. And let's face it, come on, you guys, we got to admit it. The animal industry, or animal world, the dog world, it's known for the people being cuckoo. We're known for being cuckoo, right? It just is. To the point of being obsessive, to the point of being rabid. Okay? So, and some more than others. And again, I'm not putting myself above anybody, but I can say I have always been someone who can step back for a second and go, hold on. Let's look at this with logic and facts. And this is the reason that for years and years, decades, I have always been able to maintain an excellent relationship with animal control agencies, law enforcement, because I don't come busting in like the screaming hysterical woman. Oh my God, the poor little pitty. Okay. I'm not like that. Hold on. I made me choke for a second. Okay. So based on the calls and the emails that we get, because let's face it, as much as we hate to admit it, we are the largest pit bull rescue in the country, if not the world. And it's not something I like to brag about. It's something that I'm just sick over, actually. So one can assume that we probably get more calls and emails and pleas for help when it comes to these dogs than any other organization. The majority of my dog got into a fight with another dog. My dog used to love my cats. And I'm talking about, let me be straight here. We're going to separate two things real quick. Human aggression and animal aggression. Two separate entities. So let's talk about the animal aggression part of it. Okay, back to what I was saying. My dog's never acted like this before. He suddenly snapped on my other dog. Blah, 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 blah. It's those people. Those people are who ruin it for the pit bull. Not drug dealers, not dog biters. Okay. Yeah, I know. Because some of you are going, wait, you're talking about me. And I might be. Let me explain why. Because you're in denial. And I don't mean maybe you listening, but this person, these people who call us with these, with these phone calls and these emails, you're in denial. Okay. But let me give you an example of what I'm talking about. When I lived in California, one of my best friends was a lady named Beverly, and she ran Rottweiler Rescue. Of course, so we were like Thelma and Louise, you know. I had Pit Bull Rescue, she had Rottweiler Rescue. We were like hand in hand. She was like me, very logical thinking, could remove the emotion out of a situation to solve the problem. And so I got to learn a lot about Rottweilers through her. And when I started getting into training and doing my training classes for LA City Animal Services, I remember one of the calls I got. And even though my classes were for pit bulls primarily, I did allow other, what they call power breeds. Rottweilers, Mastiffs, Bulldogs, German Shepherds. You get my drift. And one of the people that showed up at my class had a male Rottweiler. And I said, okay, tell me what's going on. And she said, well, one of the things I need to deal with is when he gets up on the bed, and her bed, and I try to pull him off, tell him to get down, he growls at me. And I'm like, okay, when are you going to get to the problem part? She goes, what? What? I said, he's a male Rottweiler. It's what they do. It's like so normal. This is like normal male Rottweiler behavior. I'm not saying it's desirable. I'm not saying they all do it. But it's like, okay. It's kind of like coming to my training class and saying, my border collie won't stop chasing my kids around the yard and nipping them in the back of their leg. That's what they do. Again, not all of them. So, of course, I do help her come up with a management plan to handle her Rottweiler. Because, again, it's not desirable, no one wants that to happen. So, with the pit bulls, okay, if I had a penny, 1 cent, for every person that said to me, it's all in how you raise them, I would be a billionaire right now. Okay? Because it is not. Now, that being said, a part of that is true. Okay? To define a dog's temperament, okay? It's many things. It's, first of all, genetics. That's the first thing. It's how, who their mother and father is, the lineage in those dogs. You can deny it all you want. Okay? Genetics. So a part of the pie is genetics. Then you get into the upbringing of the dog, which is how they were raised. Okay? So there is a slice of pie for your theory. Then there's management, education, training. Does the dog have any training? Blah, 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 blah. Okay, so I'm just giving you some examples of what it takes to create a dog's temperament. So, pit bulls by nature are predisposed to be animal aggressive. You can deny it all you want. And if you do deny it, you are the problem. Tell it like it is. Okay? And I am not saying, of course, that every pit bull displays animal aggression. Of course not. Hey, I'm half Irish. I can't... By nature, I'm supposed to be a blithering drunk. Okay? I can't touch alcohol. Can't stand the taste of it. And if I even take one sip, I'm barfing my brains out. Okay? Genetically, I am predisposed to like to drink. Doesn't mean I do. Doesn't mean I can. Okay? So, when it does happen, if it does, it's kind of like, yeah, well, they do those things. Okay? When you deny it is when it becomes the problem. When you deny there's a chance of it happening, you are the problem, not your dog. Okay? So on that note, there are things that you can do to just kind of lower the variables within your household. For example, Feed your dog separately from your other dogs and your cats. Don't think it's cute that they all eat out of the same bowl. It's not cute. How would you like it if you're sitting at the dinner table with the most amazing plate of pasta, spaghetti and meatballs, and your entire family clamored around you, start sticking their forks in your plate and start taking food off your plate? In prison, you would get shanked for that. I'm just telling you now. Okay, so why do you think your dogs think it's cute? They don't. So that's a start. Okay? I cringe when I see somebody with multiple dogs where one is a pit bull and they're throwing a tennis ball. One ball for all 5 dogs. Oh, whoever gets there first gets the ball. Whoever doesn't, well, hope you don't get in a fight. You're setting the dog up for failure. Dog parks. Can you honestly tell me that you can control all 20 of those dogs in that dog park and they're not going to come near your dog and give your dog a problem? So these are just some of the things that you can do and be like the defensive driver in this, okay? So your dog does not end up on the 6 o'clock news. Walking down the street. Another person comes by with their dog. Can my dog beat your dog? No. Why? Are we gonna become roommates? Are we getting married? Or like why? Like, no. So, I know, harsh, but it's true, people. It's true. When you own a pit bull, you own like the Ferrari of the dog world, or at least one of the Ferraris. Maybe a Porsche. I think a Malinois is probably the Ferrari of the dog world. A Malinois is a whole different topic. But okay, you own a Porsche. So when you have a Porsche, bright red Porsche, the last thing you want to do is doing 90 miles an hour through the neighborhood, because more than likely, you're going to end up with a ticket, a speeding ticket, or arrested. So don't drive your Porsche 90 miles an hour and be reckless. So I will now step off the soapbox. And I probably ruffled a few feathers. I probably have some hackles kind of raised up a little bit. But you know what? I've been doing this a long time. I hear it all. Just trying to help you out. More importantly, I'm trying to help your dog out. Sometimes my delivery is not always the best. All right, y'all. It's back to the grind, and I will see you when I'm looking at you.